I lost your audio, homie. There we go. I got you. And yep. And CDP Media Productions on Facebook. And shameless plug, we just got our website up, everybody. So you can go check us out at cdpmedia.info. And you can become a member there and chime into the forum. We're going to start having our own little tips and tricks, and other business owners come on and tell stories of maybe how to improve something, or generally use marketing to make more money. So yeah, we're very excited about that. So please go check it out and stay updated. We got a lot of cool things coming down the pipeline. Ain't that right, James? Please go check it out. Okay. Let me kind of lay out the schedule for today. All right, we're going to talk about, answer some questions, a little tips and tricks section, and then we're going to start what it's going to be week 2, 3 week long, a little bit more of a deep dive into audio and how to utilize that in your live streams and your social media content. Because as we all know, and as I say, audio is king. Audio is king. There's nothing more important. So I want you guys to be, we're just going to go very basic, just so you can have a comprehensive understanding of just, the very high level of what needs to be done to get excellent audio, so people can hear you very clearly and you sound great, whether you're going for a radio style voice or whatever, right? So we'll dive into that here in a little bit. But first off, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks. And as James mentioned, to take advantage of the different kinds of algorithms on the different kinds of platforms. Besides, what's my number one tip, James? No, that's one. Then what's number 2? Starts with a C. It's a word that starts with C. Consistency. Consistency beats out audio, because you don't even have to have audio if you're posting pictures and stuff, right? All right. So how to take advantage. So I want everyone to just spend some time on these platforms, because my next tip involves looking at what's called trends. So I want you to look through if you see any ads or you see any other people's content that seems to be hitting pretty hard, bringing a lot of follower count, a lot of engagement with likes and all that shares. What I want you to do is take note of them. Take a snippet, copy it over to a notepad or whatever you got open to take notes, whatever application, and you'll start making content ideas. And then what you can do, once you have like a library, then you can just batch record all of your content, right? So all of your social media posts or ads or whatever it may be. But the key part is jumping on those trends while they're happening. And you'll see this over and over again. You won't see, like, if you see one person doing like that number, which by the way, I'm going to throw one out here before too long, just to prove a point. So you see them, they point to those different things and those different things come up. That's a trend, right? Those TikTok dances, those are trends. Not to say that you got to go on, get your cell phone and start, dancing around, because I ain't doing that. Nobody wants to see me do that.
I'm too old for that, buddy.
Exactly. I'll throw my back out or something, knowing that. Like I'll wake up sore. Anyway, we're not doing that, right? So what we're doing is we're looking at trends that we're interested in, that we think our audience would like to see, and then you can take your cell phone for a lot of these, applications such as TikTok or Instagram. You can literally just take your phone, set that they have timers on them for 30 seconds. And this is something that I want to go over to make sure it's understood, because this was something a little new to me. So what I want you to do is go into, let's say, we'll just use Instagram for an example. You go into Instagram, you're going to make a reel. So you record your reel. It's got a countdown timer and everything. And you can either, add music and effects and text right there and post it then and there. But what I recommend for anybody that maybe uses my services or has another editor or has maybe someone a little bit more privy to, editing video, that you can go back and download that recorded video. So you have a blank one. Why is that important? Because then we can edit it and make it look super good after the fact, and then you can schedule them all to go out. So if you just use your phone, you can record that video. It counts down, tells you how long it needs to be, and you can either add music or whatever's trending music at that time, or you can wait till you upload, up to you guys. But you can, build a library and just, batch record all those ideas that you written down. You just go through them, and then you have content for the next little bit, and someone can edit them down. But like I said, you want to make sure when you're posting, you use that trending music that you hear on all the other ones. Use those things that we know work, like based on the research that you were doing, spending time on the platform.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's one major trick of the week.
Right. So I know when I first got started with you, I had this kind of like, I don't know. I always wanted to appear, at least to all of my audience and all my clients. I wanted to appear as kind of like professional, but semi-professional. And I always had this deal about, do I want to be that guy holding up my camera, right? But now the cameras are so good right now. It's okay,
get a little
right?
tripod. You get a little tripod.
Right.
Use your iPad, iPhone, Android phone, Android tablet. They all got pretty good cameras. I mean, you can start today making content.
Yeah. So I mean that right there is totally huge. And when we're talking about the audio in those content, let me throw one at you. Coming from left field. I've seen some of those microphones that you can plug into your cell phone, or not necessarily, but for laptops or but I'm talking about external microphones that you can plug in. I mean, what's your thought on that, or is the
Oh,
phone
that's
speakers
you
good?
just tapped in. That was a great segue, whether you realized it or not, because we're about to talk all about microphones and just the general setup.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you don't mind making me full screen, I'm going to switch and start showing,
Oh yeah.
educating some folks.
Yeah. So here we go. There we go. Give me 1 second. Let's do speaker view. There we go, man. Take it away.
All right. So in microphones, what I wanted to do was I wanted to split up. There's basically what we're going to do is we're going to start left to right. Okay. So right here is going to be number one. All right, that's your number one. You need to determine whether you want to go with a USB microphone or an XLR microphone. Don't worry about what XLR stands for. It's basically an XLR microphone is what you see at concerts or like professional studios or radios or that's what they use. And if you would have asked me a year ago whether to use a USB or an XLR, I would have said without a doubt XLR.
XLR.
It just
Yeah.
generally sounds better. The technology behind it is, it's got way more of a track record. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't have hesitated. Now right now, guys, we are seeing some pretty cool stuff come out with USB microphones that look and even sound like pretty expensive XLR microphones, which is pretty unbelievable. I will be doing a review on one of those microphones coming up probably in next month or so. So
Yeah.
keep an eye on that. We'll talk about it on here as well once I get done with that unboxing and review.
Yeah.
But so that's where we need to start off. USB XLR. And right now, I'm leaning to USB. Why? Because you don't need an interface and we'll talk about that in a minute.
So you can go direct.
Stuff.
Yeah, so you just said we can just go direct inside a computer. We don't need an interface. I know I have 2 boxes that I use, but you're saying, yeah, you can do USB. Oh, man, it's totally awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We can do USB now. So you throw it in a backpack. You throw something, like which is something I just got today, and I'll show you guys. I'll do a video on it as well, but we'll go over that later. But back to microphones so we can wrap this up. I don't want to keep you guys too long. All right, so that's one thing you need to determine, USB or XLR. Like I said, my recommendation now is go with a USB microphone. Now, which one, you'll have to tune in later episodes before we get into talking about a lot of the brands and things that I recommend. Mm-hmm. Okay, next off, we need to go over the kinds of microphones that you want. Uh-huh. Right now, I am speaking out of, I don't know if you can see it on this screen or not, but this is what's called a dynamic microphone. Dynamic microphones are what you see at like rock concerts, hip hop concerts, like what doesn't matter, right? Those are the handhelds one that the lead singer sings out of. These are dynamic microphones. Why are dynamic microphones so good, right? By the way, dynamic microphones, you'll see them on a lot of podcasts because it gives you that boomy radio voice, right? That Joe Rogan kind of setup that people see, right? So dynamic microphones are good because they reject everything that's around them except for the front. That's why you have to have them a lot closer to your mouth. And what that means is reason that's good is because let's say you were typing or gaming or whatever you're doing on your stream. Maybe you have kids and dogs in the background that you don't want, to show up on your stream. That's why dynamic microphones are so good. Which brings us to condenser microphones. Why are condenser microphones so good? If you have a a nice treated room, you don't have a lot of background noise, condenser mics sound a lot more natural. They don't have this like boomy, proximity effect that is what it's called when you on a dynamic microphone, where that bass gets real boomy and radio sounding. Yeah. Condensers sound way more natural, which is what you use, James. It's what any of these shotgun microphones, which is microphones you can take from the back or somewhere a little bit farther away from you and then shoot directly at the sound source. So that's the condenser microphones have a lot more top end. It sounds a little bit more crisp and a little bit more natural. Now, what's not included that I kind of consider it's still, I would consider it more of a dynamic microphone, but at the same time, it's a kind of in a different category of itself, which is wired or wireless lavalier mics, which is the kind you see on like interviews where they or speech presentations where they clip it to your shirt or clip it to your tie or whatever it is. And you can, speaking about those microphones that you can get to your phone, I am about to start making all of my social media content on an iPad just to give it a go, just to prove, do some testing and prove some points that you don't need a lot of fancy stuff to generate social media content. So what you can do for that, like an iPad or whatever, it's a 3.5 millimeter jack. Same thing as your earbuds that you plug into your phone. If your phone even still has an 3.5 millimeter jack, because that people got in a hissy when they started taking those away. So they're actually starting to be added back right now. But those kind of microphones are really good. Like I said, they're very low profile. They sit close to the mouth. It still gives good audio quality, and a lot of the times it's wireless. So you have like a little transmitter it's plugged into, and then the receiver is plugged into your computer or whatever, and you can stand up and walk around and all that fun stuff without having a wired attachment or something like that.
Wow.
So that brings us to like a basic setup question, and especially for XLR microphones, because USB you plug right in. XLR, it's a little different setup. You got something to say, James?
Well, I was just going to ask, based upon the setup, are any of those options for tablets or for cell phones, or are those are basically items that are going to plug in directly to the laptop? I'm correct, for like maybe
Yeah,
laptop use, right?
I don't. I'm sure it's got to be possible somewhere, but you don't want the headache of plugging an interface up into a cell phone. I don't even know if it has the audio capability. It might. Haven't tested it. Can't really tell you whether or not. I don't think it's a good idea, just because, like I said, USB microphones have been coming, have taken huge strides in the past year or two.
Yeah.
And as well as you got these little 3.5 millimeter lavalier mics that sound great and that can really enhance your audio for your content.
So everybody who's listening, by the way, hey, Patrick, hey, how you doing? Welcome for being a part of the conversation tonight.
What's up, Patrick? Thanks for
Hanging
coming by, man.
exactly, bro. Hanging out here with CDP Media, and we got Jack on. These are some of the kind of questions that I'm going through that maybe some of you guys who are listening may have the exact same question. So I thought it'd be super appropriate to have this conversation with Jack and let him talk about how to better our sound as we are providing content for folks just like you guys. So, Jack, go ahead and take it away. We were talking about the PC and what the interface is, where we can bring in one or two microphones back and forth between XLR and USB.
Right. So for XLR setup, it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more complicated, but at the same time, it's not rocket science, because you can get very simplified pieces of gear. However, it can start off, it's going to be a little bit more costly than a USB microphone. Why? Because you have more components in the setup, right? Like you need that interface just to be able to plug it into your computer, right? Which they can be anywhere from fairly inexpensive to studio grade quality stuff. And that's because that's what it's used for. But for people who are doing like podcasts or whatever, I mean, there's a lot that you can chain in to add effects and compression and all that stuff if you did not want to do it on the PC, which is what we do. Me and James, we both handle all of our post processing after on the fact on the PC with software. But a lot of people swear by having like pieces of hardware that fit in this chain between the PC and the interface. So basically what an interface does, it allows you to plug an XLR microphone into it, but then it goes USB or USB-C to your PC or laptop.
So what about everybody that wants to sound as good as you right now? Because you sound like really, really hot right now. I mean, really good. So what is your setup, the interface setup, or is it
yes.
the PC?
My setup currently, however, like I just said, I am going to be buying and testing out and more than likely using this USB microphone that just came out called the Beacon mic, which I will, like I said, I'll release a video unboxing and everything, but there's some really, really cool features that mic has that kind of take the place of all this stuff, which is pretty neat. But this is what I have. So I have a 2-input interface. And like I said, that can go anywhere from, I don't remember, maybe 50 to 100, 150 bucks for the interface. And it just plugs in USB to your PC, and then your microphone goes in there and you're good to go. And then you just, set your inputs, and I'll do a whole, guys, I'm excited. We're about to drop a whole lot of content as well. I'm going to be making tutorial videos on OBS, Open Broadcast Software, which will just be super simple just to get everybody up and running, because that's all I want you to do. I want you to create. So anything I can do to help you guys out, I'm going to do. We're going to make tutorials and everything. But like I said, XLR compared to USB, obviously one cable into your PC with the microphone and that's all you need. That's the easiest setup, and I'm really excited about the possibilities of my clients and been able to travel with gear like this and sound just as good as if they were sitting at home in their studio.
So now you're talking my language. I mean, everybody knows I travel often. I travel a lot, and I'm looking for the perfect travel getup, right? And because a lot of people are asking what I'm using, and so where I'm at now, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. So thankful for you.
This bad boy is gonna be a part of your arsenal pretty soon. This same company that makes that microphone, it's called the Beacon Mix, and like I said, we'll have a review and stuff on that coming up as well. The Beacon Mix. It's a lot of them sold out, which is why I'm waiting. I've already, but at least I got my mix in. They have a mix create, which is a little bit more advanced features, but it is so cool, guys. I cannot wait to show you. But anyway, that's pretty much my spill on microphones, and I hope to help. And if you have any questions involving any of this stuff, put them in chat right now. I'm here. Email me at cdpmediainfo@gmail.com. That's our basic, information email address. So you can hit us up there or, visit cdpmedia.info.
There we go. So one question before you get out of here. One question before you get out of here, bro. So are you saying, oh man, cool graphics? We're going to have them to do a class on that right there of those graphics. But my question is, can you get the quality of sound XLR using a USB the way you're doing it? I mean, is there another interface that's going to be used? I can't hear you, bro. You went mute on me, bro. I can't hear you.
Sorry. I hit the wrong one. So you can get that audio quality from a USB microphone now. Like better than this. This is $100 microphone. This is a really, really, really good value for microphones. This is $100 microphone that sounds like almost like you can make it sound like a $400 microphone. So, and it's very small. I like it's little, it's a tiny little thing, but it plugs directly up into my interface. The thing about the XLR setup is it is a little bit more complicated because you have to kind of figure out the signal chain, because you can turn the volume gain is what we call it. You can turn the volume up on the microphone on the interface, which can mess up whatever software you're going into. Then there's two things that you kind of have to monitor on that. So it's a little bit more involved, but I mean, it sounds really good. I don't think that USB microphone has quite nailed the more analog sound, but it's pretty close, man. I think that microphone actually is better than this microphone. Sound quality wise,
to the untrained ear, would it make a difference, or is it more important just to get started?
It's not like if you ever listen to podcasts and you hear like how good some of these people sound on these podcasts, the radio smoothness, like that thing versus talking on your cell phone, and hearing somebody talk from their AirPods or whatever. I mean, huge difference. Difference.
Okay, all right. So I guess you guys heard it, that the conversation tonight was big on audio. We wanted to get started on talking about audio algorithms and getting attention. Tonight is just really, really, really focused on the audio side of it. As I'm building my kit, I'm trying to do it along with all of you guys.
And I want to throw this in there. Speaking of which, your title, audio algorithm and attention?
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the attention part. Right? I learned something so fascinating that I wanted to share with you all of why audio is king and why it's important to have good audio when you're making, your videos or whatever, right? There's such a thing called ear fatigue that is subconscious to you that you don't even realize. You get annoyed. It's like a trigger that goes off. Your ear's just like, I don't want this anymore. And you don't even know why. You don't like it. How does that affect social media? I'll let you guess. If you have a bad audio quality sound coming out, more than likely it's going to cause people to just, fall off because they can't stand, or if you just have bad audio in general, people will leave.
Yeah. So I guess for me and anybody else who's listening, the question is, as we're talking about audio and we're talking about attention, which mic will be better to keep our, the audience attention. Is that condenser mic? Are we looking at more of a dynamic mic because of somebody like I don't know, anybody
Well,
who's
you can have the same good quality out of both microphones. Like you can have both of them can be sound amazing. It's really about the setup that you want. Like you got to think about your shot and like what you're doing and like whether you want to be standing up. You don't want to have some weird microphone while you're standing up, presenting.
Yeah.
So it's really going to depend on like what you want. If it's from your phone, honestly I would recommend getting one of the the little 3.5 millimeter adapters if you don't have a jack on your phone, and get one of those little lavs and just putting it right there, because you can hide it in your shirt up in like when you holding your phone, so no, it doesn't really glare at anybody, and it's still right there native to your phone. So that's probably my best recommendation. Is like anybody can go pick up a $35-$40 lav mic and a $7 adapter, and you can have better audio on your Insta Reels or your whatever. TikToks, whatever.
Yeah. So, and this is my last thought. Thank you for. I mean, I don't know if anybody's listening, but basically, you told us about three main microphones. You got the dynamic microphone, more of what we're hearing on podcasts. We got the condenser microphone. Maybe we have it up high, but it gives the sound in the room sounds more natural. And then we got the lav mic that we can put on our lapels and so forth. This is going to be very helpful as we're trying to create new content. So because the sound is key, all of that is key. So that is pretty awesome. So
Yep.
I want to thank you for definitely taking out your time. I know you're super busy, so just being able to have you chime in on some of the things that we're doing here on this side right here, folks. CDP Media, look them up. You guys know me. If I'm giving a recommendation, chances are I'm using it. So definitely check out CDP Media. Matter of fact, can you go ahead and do the press break? How do we get in touch with CDP Media, bro?
Like I said, you can send your questions to cdpmedia.gmail.com, or you can visit our website and contact us from there at cdpmedia.info. And you can see us here on Facebook at CDP Media Productions. I know it's long, but they took my name. Like, what can you do? Right? I wasn't going to be like CDP Media 54678. I'm like, no, like, we ain't doing that.
Oh man. Gotta love it. This is just the beginning of the week. So what I like doing,
and guys, if you see this on the replay, still leave your comment, like this video, go check James out on YouTube at All About Others. You can search his name, you can search All About Others. It'll take you right to the spot. And all of these streams are usually on there, and as well as he's going to have other content there as well. Check out his the new video we edited for him that's posted on his page right now. It's not made strictly for social, but at least you can get an idea of what it looks like and everything.
The quality,
yeah,
you people.
We're super proud of that. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, and Lion's Den's coming soon. We're going to keep saying it until it happens, because it's going to be cool.
It's building out.
Excited.
It's building out. We work tirelessly just to educate you guys, and I always say, if you know better, you do better, right? So another good time, a great Monday. We'll check you guys out again next week. Thank you for being a part of tonight's event, Media Marketing Mondays with CDP Media. You guys take care and be well.
Have a good one.